guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing my top sunscreen recommendations for 2025. I upload this video every single year, and every year I try to recommend something different so that the videos are not always repetitive. So if you want to see what I recommended last year and even the year prior, I will leave those videos below for you for your reference. I want you to know that I still love and use the sunscreens that I recommended last year. I still use them all the time, but I have been testing some new sunscreens this year and I've quite enjoyed them. So of course I wanted to share something new in today's video. Now I do believe I am recommending two sunscreens that I did mention last year, but I will tell you why I am reintroducing it. So stay tuned for that. But of course you can find all of the sunscreens that I'm sharing, including discount codes, those related videos, and the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video linked below for you. I would also really appreciate it if you could kindly give this video a thumbs up, and if you could also subscribe and ring that notification bell. So before I start this video, I want you to all know that I am recommending all mineral-based sunscreens. The reason being is because, number one, mineral-based sunscreens are more gentle. They're more tolerated on most skin types. They sit on top of the skin and reflect UVA and UVB rays, whereas chemical-based sunscreens are absorbed into the skin, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I am somebody that cannot use chemical-based sunscreens anymore because my skin gets really irritated. And this is something new. Up until a couple of years ago, I was always able to use chemical-based sunscreens and even hybrid formulations that have both the chemical and mineral sunscreen ingredients. Those ones aren't as bad, but the all chemical formulations really irritate my skin, and I really don't know why all of a sudden my skin doesn't like it. The only thing that I can think of is that I have been a tretinoin user for the last 6 years. So I don't know if that is a product that has sensitized my skin over the years and then maybe using other things along the way. I don't know, but I can only use mineral-based sunscreens. And plus, I really like them because they have come a long way. Not all of them have a white cast. I mean, some do, but they really have improved a lot over the years. So you can find some really great formulas that are super lightweight on the skin, that don't look heavy, and you don't look like Casper. And they are great options to look into, especially if you have sensitive skin and you're acne prone like myself. I do have combination skin. So the first sunscreen that I'm going to be sharing is by Live Clean. This is the Sheer Mineral Sunscreen Lotion SPF 30. This is all mineral, like I said, with a zinc oxide of 24.1%. So this is a body sunscreen. Now, for whatever reason, I have a really hard time finding a body sunscreen that doesn't stink, because a lot of them are smelly. Like, I don't know what it is. A lot of them are disgusting. A lot of them are very greasy and sticky and tacky on the skin, and your clothes cling to it and your hair gets stuck on your shoulders and your neck. I just cannot deal with that. And so every year I struggle to find a body sunscreen. And this one is actually one that is quite affordable. It is not greasy, it's not sticky, it doesn't have any fragrance whatsoever. It doesn't even have that sunscreen smell. Now that sunscreen smell, you know, that strong one that we all know and possibly hate. I hate it, but maybe some people love it. That usually comes from chemical-based ingredients. With mineral, there's usually no scent, which is another reason why I like mineral. Some brands might put fragrance in it, but there's absolutely no scent to this, which I like. And after, you know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, it dries down and it just feels really moisturizing on the skin. So the initial application, it might look and feel a little greasy, but again, once it dries down quite skin-like, and I really love that. And I really needed to find a good body sunscreen this year because I bought myself some new golf clubs. I am determined to be somewhat good on the course. Sean is really good, and I would like to start golfing with him because it just gives us something to look forward to on weekends. But I have been slathering myself with this, and this has been really lovely. This is also water and sweat resistant up to 80 minutes, and it's also hypoallergenic. So I'm going to show you what this looks like on the back of my hand, but for the remaining sunscreens that I am sharing, I'm actually going to be inserting clips of me applying them to my face so that you get a better visual. So this does have like a lotion type of texture, but it's not super runny. It does have a little bit of a thickness to it. So yes, initially it's going to look a little white on the skin, but once you get applying this all over and it starts to absorb into the skin, there is literally no cast in my opinion and from my experience. Now, obviously, if you have a darker skin tone than I do, there's a possibility that you could have a slight cast to your skin, but it really is quite minimal, and that's another reason why I like this a lot. So as you can see, I do have like a little sheen to the skin, but it's not greasy and it's not tacky, and then within 10 minutes or so, this will dry down completely and it will just feel really nice and moisturized. This is also broad spectrum, so it protects the skin from both UVA and UVB rays. There is squalene and niacinamide in the formulation, and I wanted to mention that because I know not everybody loves the niacinamide ingredient. Some people love it, some people cannot tolerate that ingredient. So depending whether you put this on your face or not, I wanted to mention that. And also the brand actually says that this will give a mattified finish to the skin. From my experience with this, it does not. So if you're looking for that super matte look, I wouldn't say this would be it. I do have an option in this video for you if you like matte, but like I said, it dries down skin-like. It might have a slight sheen to it, but as you can see, I have no white cast. It's already dried down and it just feels like I've just put moisturizer on my skin and it's not sticky or greasy. So I just wanted to confirm that. Next is the Naked Sundays Collagen Glow Mineral Perfecting Priming Lotion. This is an SPF 50, water resistant up to 80 minutes, and it's also broad spectrum. This contains plant-based collagen, and there's also antioxidants in here as well, like watermelon extract. So this has a zinc oxide of 22.75%, and this is one of the nicest sunscreens I have ever used underneath my makeup. This is honestly one of the nicest. This is actually better than a makeup primer itself. So if you don't like makeup primers or you don't like adding that extra step in your makeup routine, then pick up this and use this as your makeup primer. Your makeup just grips on top of this and your makeup doesn't budge. It doesn't fade, it doesn't move around, it stays in place. And I've had a lot of humid days here already in Ontario, and I have been using this underneath my makeup, outside walking Berkeley, sweating to death, and then coming home, my makeup still looked really good. Yes, I may have looked a little shiny, but my makeup did not budge at all. So this is great with or without makeup. There's lots of times where I'll just wear this on its own, and if there's any imperfections that I need to, address, I'll just use a little bit of concealer on top of this and just touch up those areas. So this does have a beigey tone to it, and that is enough to honestly disguise that white cast for me personally and for my skin tone. But it's not a tinted sunscreen. It's not going to even out your skin, but it might slightly decrease on redness if you have any, but your freckles, your imperfections will still shine through. So this is great on its own when you're having a good skin day, but if you do decide to wear a little bit of foundation and makeup, this is really nice to use underneath it. And I did recently share a YouTube short on this, and I also shared that video to Instagram and TikTok where I was raving all about this, but I also showed you what this looked like on my skin and then what my makeup looked like on top of it, like right after. So I will leave that short little video up here, but I will of course share a little clip in this video of me applying this to my face. And this is a new brand that just launched in Canada at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I believe this was the only mineral-based sunscreen at Shoppers. Everything else was chemical based. Now, I've heard a lot of great things about the SPF spray, like the mist, and that would be a great option to reapply your sunscreen on top of makeup. But for me personally, I wouldn't use it because it's chemical based. So I'm going to try and find a mineral based sunscreen spray, maybe something that is actually dedicated for the face. If I ever find one, I will definitely let you know. But if you know of any good mineral SPF sprays, please let me know in the comments. So this is fragrance free. Again, there is no white cast from my experience with this, and it is hypoallergenic, super gentle, and it's also very lightweight. Next is the Ultraviolet Future Fluid Super Light Mineral Skin Screen SPF 50+. This is broad spectrum with a lotion type of texture. Very thin and watery, and this has a zinc oxide of 20%. So this has squalene, vitamin E, and Japanese zinc. So Japanese zinc is more of an advanced mineral technology to protect against UVA and UVB rays, but at the same time, it's not greasy, it's not sticky or heavy. It leaves your skin looking skin-like with a little bit of a glow. This also has a beigey tone to it, so enough to disguise that possible white cast. It spreads across the skin really nicely, sits great with other skincare products, including your makeup. I've never had an issue with pilling. This is also fragrance free, great for all skin types, especially for those that have oily combination skin and for those that are acne prone. And I love this. This has to be one of my favorites this year. This actually just launched this year, if I'm not mistaken. I did share this back a couple of months ago when I received it for the first time, and I've been using it ever since. And I think that this is a really nice, thin, lightweight lotion type of format. So if you love those thin, watery sunscreens, then I think you're going to really enjoy this. I have another product from Ultraviolet. This is the Lean Mineral Mattifying Fragrance-Free Screen SPF 50+. This is also broad spectrum. It has a cream type of texture, and it has a zinc oxide of 22.75%. Now, I have briefly talked about this a couple of months ago when I first tried it. I really like this, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that I am not a mattifying type of girl. Like, I don't like things that are mattifying on my skin. I really love that skin-like finish or that glowing, dewy complexion. Like, that's what I strive for on a daily. But I do sometimes like to opt for sunscreens that are a little bit more mattifying when it's really muggy outside, because my skin does get very oily during humidity. And then sometimes that can lead to breakouts for me because, again, I'm very acne prone. So if it's going to be a scorching day, I will skip a moisturizer. I will put this on instead of moisturizer, and then go right in with makeup if I'm wearing any type of makeup. And this helps my makeup last longer throughout the day. And this way I don't have to use any translucent powder throughout the day to soak up any oil, because I'm using a mattifying product underneath the makeup that helps to tone down that oil production. So if you love mattifying sunscreens, I think you might like this. I wouldn't say it's super, super mattifying, but you can make it more mattifying depending on the skincare products you use beforehand. So if you tend to use a lot of essences, facial mists, serums that are very hydrating on the skin, that leave that dewy, glowy complexion, then this won't be as mattifying on your skin because you have those types of serums beforehand. So if you just opt for a serum that doesn't provide your skin with that glow and hydration, then this will be a little bit more mattifying on the skin. Does that make sense? So it really just depends on what you use beforehand, and you can actually control how mattifying this can actually be. So this is great for all skin types, but especially great for those that are oily, that have combination skin, and that are acne prone. If you have dry skin, you might like it, but if you have any dry patches or flaky areas, this could accentuate those areas, and it could possibly make your skin feel a little bit more tight and dry. So maybe just opt for a really nice moisturizer beforehand, and then put this on top to just give the skin more moisture if you have dry skin. But I like it a lot. It does have Kakadu plum extract, which is rich in vitamin C and antioxidants. And I don't know if I mentioned, but it's fragrance free. And also this is another lightweight product that has a beigey tone. The next one is by OneSkin. This is the broad spectrum SPF 30+. It does have a PA+++, and it has a zinc oxide of 17.5%. Now this is the untinted formulation, but there are 3 tinted options if you rather go that route instead. I decided to go with the untinted because I thought the tinted options would be too dark on my skin tone, even the lightest shade. I really do have a hard time finding a tinted sunscreen that actually looks realistic on my skin. I do have one in this video that actually performs well, but a lot of these tinted formulations can be too dark, or maybe they have like a weird undertone and it doesn't always blend in with my skin. So I thought I would play it safe and get the untinted formula. Now this does have like that white tone to it. It's not beigey at all, but this actually leaves little to no white cast on my skin tone. So if you do have a darker skin tone, I would probably say go with one of the tinted options if you can. But this is very lightweight and it spreads across the skin so nicely. It does leave a skin-like finish. It's great for all skin types, and this is also fragrance-free. It does contain 5 types of antioxidants like green tea, vitamin C. So these ingredients will help to brighten the skin, address fine lines, and it will also help to protect and shield our skin from everyday pollution. I have tried a few other products from OneSkin. I'm actually still currently testing them out. I'm actually quite impressed with this brand. This isn't exactly a cheap sunscreen, but it's a really nice one if you love those additional antioxidants and you like an option for tinted and non-tinted, and also an SPF 30 plus. I know some people might like to go with that higher SPF, but there's a lot of people that just like to stick with SPF 30. I wouldn't say go anything lower than SPF 30. You want to be like 30 and above, but this also has the PA+++ as well, which I know a lot of people look for. So if you want to try something different, I really do like this one. The next one is by Vivier. This is the Sheer SPF 30 Mineral Broad Spectrum Sunscreen. This does have a zinc oxide of 8% and a titanium dioxide of 10%. This is the untinted formulation, and I like this one more than the tinted. So there is a tinted option, only one shade, and for me personally, that tinted option does not blend into my skin. From what I can remember, it has a little bit of a rosy undertone to it. I have a warm undertone naturally, so it does not blend very nicely into my neck, and you can really see that I have like this different shade going on. So for me personally, I don't like that tinted option, but you may love it. This is my favorite, and it's actually a sunscreen formulation that leaves little to no white cast. There literally is no cast from my experience with this, especially if you massage it properly into the skin. It just blends and melts right into the skin, and this will leave that dewy, glowy complexion. So if you love that complexion as much as I do, I think you're going to really enjoy this. I really love how this wears on its own, but I really love how this performs underneath foundation and the rest of my makeup, because it just shines through your makeup and it just gives this glow. And I have this on today because I really wanted to show you what it looks like when it's underneath my makeup. Now, of course, I have bronzer, blush. I don't have any highlighter on my skin. I actually haven't used highlighter in a really long time. I rely on moisturizers and sunscreens to give me that glowing complexion nowadays, and this really gives that beautiful natural glow from within. So I really like it. Plus there's antioxidants in here like vitamin C, vitamin E. So again, it's going to brighten your skin and it's going to protect your skin from everyday pollution. There's a really nice pump on it, and I do have a discount code with Vivier as well, 15%. But it really is lightweight. It's not greasy or sticky. Even though it gives that dewy, glowy complexion, it's not greasy, especially on my combination skin that gets quite oily. And this has also never broken me out either. And it's fragrance free. So the last two remaining products are the ones that I recommended in last year's video. And I really wanted to reintroduce them because I use them almost on an everyday basis. And this next product is tinted, and it's honestly the only tinted sunscreen that I actually love that looks realistic on my skin. And the next product, you'll understand why I am recommending it. So this is the Colorescience Sun Forgettable edible total protection face shield. So this has an SPF 50, it's broad spectrum with a PA++++, and it's water and sweat resistant up to 40 minutes. This also has a zinc oxide of 12%. If you've been with me for a while, you know how much I have talked about this. This is usually my foundation replacement for the summer, and sometimes I will even eliminate foundations in the winter and use this instead. This actually does a very good job to eliminate redness, to actually even out your skin tone. The more you apply, the darker you will become, the more coverage you will get. And with this brand, actually, I use shades fair and medium. So I mix them together normally depending on skin tone. So in the summer, I'm usually strictly medium. And this is the color that I am now starting to wear consistently. But in the winter, I am more fair, and I might add 1 or 2 drops of medium just to give myself more color, because fair on its own is a little bit too fair when I'm at my fairest. So I do like to add a little bit of medium just to bring in some more color. But now Colorescience has come out with a new shade Light, which is in between fair and medium. Now, I haven't been able to get my hands on that yet. Actually, Canadians can purchase it on the Amazon.com, but when you add in the duties and the shipping, it's like over $100, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. There are some locations in Canada, like websites, where you can purchase Colorescience, but they don't offer that new shade yet. So if I get my hands on it, I will do a video and I will let you know whether it's a perfect match or not, because I'm wondering if I wouldn't have to mix the two together anymore, and light just might be my color for all year round. I don't know, but I will let you know if I decide to pick it up. But medium really is the perfect shade for summer. It really blends into my neck nicely. I don't bring tinted sunscreens down my neck ever, because I don't want it transferring onto my clothing. That looks terrible. So I will use a non-tinted sunscreen on my neck, of course, for the rest of my body, and then I will use a tinted sunscreen on my face and try to match it up to whatever my neck tone is at that time. And like I said, medium right now is the perfect shade for me at the moment. And then of course in the winter I will be more fair with a couple of drops of medium. But this also contains niacinamide, so again, if you can't use that ingredient, just know that it's in here. But it's fragrance free and it has that flex formulation, so it actually comes out white, and then once you get applying it to your skin, it turns into that nice medium shade, or whatever shade you're using. There are other shades to pick from. I do believe there's like 5 or 6 shades in total. 6 shades in total, I believe. I think they came out with a new deeper shade as well. And this one's also very lightweight. It does give a skin-like finish, but it will give a little bit of a glow to your skin as well. A little bit dewy, but not too crazy. But it sits really nicely with bronzer, blushes, and like I said, I will use it as my foundation replacement most days, and I can't get enough of this. It's the only tinted sunscreen that I love, that I keep using, that I'm happy with. It just performs so nice. And the last product is by Drmtlgy. This is the SPF Radiance Powder that has an SPF 30 and it's broad spectrum. Now this is a really nice option to reapply your sunscreen on top of a full face of makeup. If you don't wear makeup on an everyday basis, then feel free to go back in and reapply with the sunscreen that you had used that morning. Or of course, you could just use an SPF in an aerosol can, a facial mist. Again, if you know of a really nice mineral face sunscreen that has that SPF 30 or higher, do let me know in the comments. But of course, that would be a great option to put on top of a full face of makeup as well. But powder is a nice option also, especially if you're like really oily, you have combination skin, you want to mattify your skin, then this would be really nice. There are 3 shades to pick from. This is in fair. I also have it in medium. I tend to wear medium a lot in the dead of summer when I have a lot of color going on, because with that medium shade, it does pack on color on my face. So most times I use fair but summer I use medium because it just packs on too much color. So if I'm like super fair, I can't use medium because then it's not going to look right when you compare it to my neck. And again, I don't bring tinted things down my neck, but I bring this down my neck because this acts as a translucent shade. And when you first get this, you basically want to open it up, flip it upside down, and bang the bottom several times. You might need to do this for a while to release the powder into the bristles. And then flip it back around, lock it in place, and then of course you want to start priming the bristles. And when you start to see the powder flying in the air, you know it's ready to apply on top of your skin. So make sure that you prime it first so you're not putting anything on your face. And I just go in circular motions all over my face. I go right on top of my blush and bronzer. I bring this down my neck. If I don't have any body sunscreen with me, I will put this on the tops of my shoulders, wherever. I put this a lot on the tops of my hands, especially if, you know, I'm out and about, I will do this. And I just put this all over several times a day. So every couple of hours, if I remember, I will do this, and I just keep it in my bag. And this one does have niacinamide in it as well. So if you can't do niacinamide, please know that this has it. I do have a discount code with Drmtlgy. It's an ongoing code, 20% off. So I will leave that up here and below for you. But I really like this option, like I said, and I go right underneath my eyes, and I use this several times a day. So those are my top sunscreen recommendations for 2025. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I was able to introduce you to something new. Of course, if I get testing any more new formulations this year, which I believe I'm going to be, then I will do another video and of course review those for you. But until then, if you have any questions in regards to the products that I shared in this video, ask away in that comment section, and I will have everything linked below for you, like I said, including products, discount codes, and related videos, and of course the makeup that I am wearing in today's video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and of course I will see you all in the next video. Take care, and I will see you all then. Bye guys.